All right. What is going on, everybody? It's your man, or your boy, whatever, or your friend, whatever you want. Don't matter. I am here to help you today. How am I going to help you today? Well, check it out. As my name is Budget Gatherer, you can only assume that I appreciate acquiring things at a low cost, if possible, free. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. Alright, guys, today I'm going to show you guys a couple tips to speed your computer up for free. That's right, everybody, for free. Nothing out of your pocket. This is just like a couple of tips I learned from working as a repair technician at a local computer shop, mom and pop shop, if you will. And yeah, honestly, some of these things are very helpful, and I'd like to share this kind of information with the public because I know a lot of people out there aren't exactly tech savvy. And yeah, I really want to give something back. I don't want everybody going out there and dealing with slow computers and suffering all the time. I'm just rambling now. But like, check this out. Let's get straight to it, okay? So here's the first thing we're gonna do. You're gonna head over to your files, File Explorer. Go over to this PC and go ahead and left click on that. Go over to Properties right here, and you're going to be prompted with this screen. This is your general basic information about your computer. We're going to head on over down to the Advanced System Settings. Once we get there, you're going to see this nice little box over here. Performance, right? That's exactly what we're shooting for. We're shooting for a faster performing computer, or I wouldn't say faster, I guess just a little snappier, right? So let's go and click on settings, and I've already gone ahead and customized it to how I was shown to customize it. And essentially, every time you get like a fresh computer, you barely install Windows, all of these are going to be enabled. And keep in mind, this isn't exactly going to make like a night and day difference. Like, it's not gonna automatically make your 15-year-old like dinosaur of a computer start working like magic, but it will help a little bit. Along with other tips I'm gonna show you throughout this video, all of this together, I guarantee, will help a little more. This is what it's gonna look like. I think it was that setting, right? So pretty much almost everything. You don't want that. You're gonna go over here to best performance. It's gonna toggle everything off, but these are a couple things you want. So you want the shadow under the mouse pointer, because it makes it very hard to find the mouse when you don't have the shadow under the mouse pointer. You'll get lost a lot. Thumbnails instead of icons, and then translucent selection of the rectangle. That's this thing right here. And show window contents when dragging. These are a little more they're a little personal preference. I like to have them on. They help, So let's go ahead and apply that. Go OK. And you're done. First thing, you're on your way to making your computer snappier. Alright. Second thing we're going to do is nothing with this. I'm just kind of clicking around. Alright, so second thing we're going to do here. I have an SSD, as you can tell from my devices and drives. I have an SSD and I have a hard drive. So here's another trick you can do to kind of help if you have the traditional spinning platter of a hard drive as opposed to the flash memory on an SSD, solid state drive, for those of you who don't know what that stands for. Here's a big difference. SSDs, fantastic. This is just a small drive, 120 gigabytes. It'll run you about 20 bucks on eBay, Amazon, wherever, like a little more or less depending on how the market's fluctuating. But at a general standpoint, $20. Not a big investment. And let me tell you guys, this is something where you will see a night and day difference in the performance of your computer. Like, I don't care what you're running, doesn't matter. An SSD will make your life easier. I guarantee it. Now, if you're just stuck on a traditional hard drive, a hard disk drive, SSDs are fast because they work on flash memory. Hard drives, on the other hand, they work on physical moving components. Think of like a record player in a sense. how the record has to spin and the needle has to hit the grooves. It's almost like that. The hard drive is spinning at a, depending on what speed hard drive you have. I think this one's 5,400 revolutions per minute, which is kind of slow for a hard drive. I think like the normal speed, I guess you could call it, would be 7,200, and then they have other speeds as well. But at this day and age, it's not worth investing in a faster traditional hard drive. I would much rather point you to the direction of an SSD. But for those of you that are stuck on traditional hard drives, let's go ahead and help you out here. So let's go over here to disk. Oh, whoops, that's not how you spell that. Alright, defragment and optimize drives. One thing. Here's just a little backstory on how these spinning platter hard drives work. As they're spinning around at these revolutions per minute, the needle is constantly writing data in different spots of the disk, the platter, or whatever you want to call it. And it's just kind of getting stored in little bits and pieces in a circle. Like, as it's going spinning around, just needles here, there, here, there, here, there, here, there, right? So what optimizing does is it tends to bundle up the bits of information that are scattered around your hard drive. And that in turn helps it work a little better. So we're going to go over here and we're going to optimize. And you can see it's starting to defragment. And there, it's done. Boom. I don't really have too much on there. I mean, I have a couple games and stuff, but like I don't really have exactly a lot. So just doing that, and it's good to set it on like a weekly frequency, but it doesn't hurt just to, like, you know, one day, like, hey, here I go, you know, especially if you have a lot more data, bigger hard drive. Like I said, this one is just 250 gigabytes. It's not a very big size for these old school traditional hard drives. You'll generally see like half a terabyte, 500 gigabytes. That's what that translates into or equals to, or like a 1 terabyte, 1,000 gigabytes. You know, that's a lot more common size. 250 is on the lower end. And yeah, so optimizing these will definitely help with you know, making the drive read data, or at least pulling up data quicker, because you're making it do less work to find the data. Because when you go to open up an application or open up a file, it's got to grab the bits and pieces that's storing randomly in the circle, like while it's spinning and the needle's going left, right, up, down, whatever it's doing, you know. Yeah, so that's just another tip that you can use. You know, it might, like I said, this by itself won't make a night and day difference, but along with the other change we just made to the performance settings, should help. All right, so there's another one. Also, big tip here for those of you that do have an SSD, you never want to have it optimized for defragmenting. Reason being, like I said, these work on flash memory. Imagine like little like chips embedded onto like the motherboard of the SSD. So there's no physical moving parts. It's all just flash memory, so it doesn't need to be fragmented at all, or defragmented, I mean. It's all doing its own thing, and you just gotta let it work. All these traditional platters, spinning platters and needles, they definitely need to be defragmented from time to time, and I would recommend setting it on a scheduled optimization. And as you can see over here, I've deselected the SSD because you don't want to do that. It can actually end up harming your SSD if you do it too much. You know, once or twice is not, you know, no biggie, no problem, but you definitely don't want to have it on a frequent schedule. So that's another tip right there. A third one, and this one's real nice. You can either do this through your here's a little shortcut: Control Shift Escape, and you pull up Task Manager. You go over to Startup, and over here you'll see a couple things that are supposed to start with your computer as it turns on. For those of you that suffer from very slow startup times, I feel for you. I really do. Because before I got into the whole computer tech thing, I too suffered from slow boot up times. And let me tell you, it was a hassle and a half when I'm trying to print a homework assignment out or something that I had to do next day, and I'm running late, of course, because I'm never prepared. And in the morning, as I'm eating a bowl of cereal, I'm hoping my computer just turns the hell on. So Instead of waiting those 2 minutes, whatever, how long it takes, or even if you have a Windows update that you didn't know about and it's suddenly taking 5 minutes, even longer, whatever, go and check out your startup. I guarantee you there might be something here that's messing you up real bad. So, in my case, I don't have a lot. You know, I don't even know honestly what the heck this is, but I don't, just use common sense with this one. And, your computer's not running any kind of Xbox stuff, so go ahead and disable that. Either way, it has a low impact, and I'll tell you right here. Windows security notifications, I'm gonna go ahead and leave that on, because why not? Some people will probably tell you you can go ahead and turn that sucker off, but I'm not suffering from slow speeds. Like, with the SSD, thankfully, I'm booting up in like 25-30 seconds, no problem. Steam Client Bootstrapper, that's pretty much for those of you that like to game. Steam, it'll pop up as your computer turns on. It'll prompt you for a sign in, or unless you're already logged in under the Remember Me, it'll just take you straight to Steam. I don't want that. I want to choose when I want to go into Steam. CCleaner, on the other hand, I have it disabled, but for some folks, they might want it enabled. Total personal preference. And this will tie in to the next tip I'm going to give you. Alright, so start up on Task Manager, and this ties into CCleaner. So let's go over there. So let's close that. Head on over to CCleaner. No thank you. So this app right here, fantastic. Recommend. 10 out of 10. Do it again. Alright. Let me tell you something here. I use this puppy this bad boy, not just a puppy. I use this bad boy so many times. I kid you not. Great tool. It's free. They have a version you could pay for, but take it from me, you don't need it. Alright. Now let me tell you, I've run this like twice in the past 2 weeks already, so once a week, and it definitely helps. Even though you're not gonna you probably won't fully grasp the concept of what it is doing, it definitely helps. Look, check this out. Let's just skip to the start health check. And keep in mind, I try to keep my computer pretty clean. So look, 2,498 trackers are removed, 13.7 megabytes of junk, right? And I already went ahead and disabled all the startups, all that stuff. But that's not going to change, because if you pay for that, it'll do it for you. But luckily, the free version tells you that, hey, you got some stuff going on. So that's stuff that you can look into. So go ahead and make it better. And boom. You are now done, and you just did what somebody at a computer repair store will do for you at a heck of a overpriced, like work order, like you're whatever the heck, you're taking your computer in because it's not acting right, all this stuff. I guarantee you this is exactly what they're gonna do, and let me tell you, don't, just don't. You don't want to be dumping your money for nothing. I've seen a lot of, people I'm gonna just say untrustworthy folk, and it's sad to see how they take advantage of people that aren't informed. So that's my job here for you guys today. This app, completely safe, 100%. I've been using it for the past couple years and never had any sort of issues with it. Recommend it 100%. Alright, so also I'm not sponsored by them. I'd love to be, but hey, it is what it is. So check this out, guys. First thing, we went to the performance settings and handled that business. Alright. Second thing we did was head on over to the defragment and defragmented the hard drive. For the traditional platter the hard disk drives. If you have an SSD, again, please don't do this, because you will mess yourself up, and I don't want you dropping comments saying, hey, what the heck happened to my SSD? I told you so. That's what I'm going to say. Just please heed my advice. Don't defragment your SSD. Third thing was the startups. And fourth thing was CCleaner. These 4 things will help your computer. And like I said, if you do have the budget for an extra 20 bucks or so, please buy an SSD. I can't tell you how much better your computer experience will be. Guarantee you. I know these are all free tips, but this is one tip where if you could splurge $20 on your computer, please do. Holy cow, you will thank me later. I kid you not, you'll be doing backflips over how fast your computer's working. Now keep in mind, there's probably like a couple other like little things you could do, but these are the main things that you're gonna notice. Like I'd say after combining these four things, you're gonna notice a bit more of a difference, all right, in your computing experience. Now keep in mind, my computer may seem snappy and stuff. That's because I have like some pretty high-end specs, I would say. Not like super high-end. Like this isn't $1,000 computer, but it's a mid-range computer. It's definitely more than the average Joe has, you know. So let's just keep in mind that whatever computer you're working with, these four tips will help you. And you know, I guess I could say the fifth tip, which is investing in SSD. I'm not going to include that as 5 tips because, like I said, these are free. You know, your boy likes to deal with free, and anytime I can splash that out to the public, you know I'm going to hook it up. So, do yourself a favor, run these 4 tips, and have a better computer experience. Alright, it's been your boy Budget Gather, and I'm going to catch you next time. Peace.